we go. Now we just need to sort out the table. I think at the moment I could see a bit more of it, and maybe I'll put you up here. A little bit better. I wanted to have my nice flowers in there for you, show them then, because they are brightening up my day. They might as well be brightening up your day. I think actually, wait a second guys, I'm going to move everything along because I'm showing too much of the blue cupboard, which means I'm showing less of the table. Bear with. Let's move him along. That, I think, no, it's still the same, isn't it? Is that better? Okay. Hi guys, hello. Nice to see you all again. I've chopped my head off now, how annoying. Hey, we're back guys. The Sewalong crew is reunited again. Here we are, ready to sew together. Oh, it's nice to see all your names popping up on the screen, guys. You will have seen Rosie is there, there at home commenting for us. Oh, yay, hi guys. Oh, lots of Happy New Year wishes to everyone, which is lovely. And hugs going out to people. Oh, we're all here, guys, and we're all gonna get through this again together. And we will be here doing our lovely sew-alongs every week. And it's so nice to be back. I feel rested. I feel like I didn't quite have the break that I wanted, but it didn't matter because I rested and I was well. I didn't get ill. And yeah, I watched a lot of television, caught up on all the box sets that everyone has been watching, and films and things, and that was lovely. And yeah, raring to go now. It's so nice to be back at work and working with the team and talking about all our lovely ideas for the year and really feeling energized, which I do, which is great. So we're doing the Meredith dress, which I'm wearing. So I put up on Instagram today already something about what I was wearing, and then realized I should have really put on this today because I'm making it with you. But anyway, the Meredith dress, guys, I should say, is a great work from home dress because it's stretchy and it's a wrap dress, so it's super comfy, and it would also work really well with cardies. So I've got my black and white spotty one on, and I've forgotten how much I love it. I haven't worn it for ages. So yeah, I'm very grateful to have it out. Oh, glad you like my mug. This is Anthropology. I think it was Rifle Paper Company. There we go. Rifle Paper Company did a thing with Anthropology. Or maybe it's just they stock them, but anyway, I've only ever seen them in Anthropology. I love it. Love this mug. It's my favourite mug. So, what is everyone doing whilst we're doing this? Who's going to be sewing the Meredith with me? Hands up. If only you could say hands up. Hopefully some of you will be sewing other things as well. Yay! Eating. Some of you will be eating. It is lunchtime. Some of you might be working and pretending to your bosses that you're not watching this. Someone's sewing a Lulu dress. Oh, lovely. Oh, and Lorianne is stuck on the sleeves. Oh, sorry, Lorianne. I don't think we're going to get to that. Oh, yes, a Luna PJs, wrap Luna PJs, Fiona. They're comfy, aren't they? Oh, well, there's lots of sewing going on, and that's lovely to see. That's really good. Get some fresh new projects for you on the sewing machine. And so we'll be doing one a week with you. And then I'm also going to be doing a lot more on Instagram, guys. So I'm now finished with my course. I've recovered and rejuvenated, and I'm raring to go again. And so what I'm planning to do is to continue with what I was doing on Instagram yesterday, which is just talking about how can we adapt the current wardrobes we have, or making other things to suit our new lifestyle that we are going through at the moment, and making ourselves feel good about what we're wearing and how we're looking and how we're feeling. And sewing really can do that. So that is something I'm going to be talking a lot more about on Instagram. Over here, I will still be doing roundup videos of our makes that we do together, and also obviously the live sew-alongs. Also on YouTube, I'm planning on doing a video for the new releases to show you the new patterns, and there'll be one coming up soon. And also we are going to continue with our Stitch School. Obviously with Stitch School, we're a little bit challenged at the moment with filming new stuff, but we think we can do it, so we're working that out at the moment. but I also want to do a big sew once a month. So we trialed it with you guys for the Christmas big sew, and it was so lovely. So I think we could do one a month. I think it'd be lovely for all of us to meet together and be able to see each other. So watch this space. We're going to be trying to work out that soon, and probably by the end of January we'll be kind of all sorted. So I'm going to try and get an idea and that kind of booked in the diary this week, and then we'll obviously tell you guys about it as well. You'll also know, some of you were already in the PDF club last year, and you'll know that we have renamed it to the VIP club, and I promise you it'll probably take me 6 months to not keep calling it the PDF club. But we've renamed it the VIP club, which is a little bit, you're getting more than you got last year, and that's why we thought VIP club was better. But you can now, we've launched it to the public now, so you can now sign up to our VIP club for the year. All sorts of lovely exciting things that you get being in our VIP club. You are essentially our VIPs. I think most of you who watch this are in that because you're our VIPs watching this. But you can basically, you sign up and you get a pattern for free. And already that is cheaper than, so they sign up for £10, and all of our patterns are either £11 or £13. So you get a pattern for free. So already you've got your money back and saved a bit. And then you get 10% off all future patterns, whether they're PDF or printed. So we've upped it this year. So not only will you be getting 10% off the PDF patterns, you'll also get off the printed patterns. You find out about the PDF releases a week before everybody else. You get your own secret Facebook group where you can chat about the patterns and things and share your makes before everyone else has seen them even. I tend to pop on there and chat every so often and do a little bit of a special video. I'm going to try and remember to do that a bit more this year. It was a bit of a difficult year last year, but to keeping up with that, but I'm going to try more this year. We'll be also sending you special newsletters, and you get 2 special VIP sales every year. And also you guys will get a heads up about the a heads up about sales before everyone else. You won't, like our general big sales that we have at Christmas, or rather New Year or Easter or whenever they are, you guys will find out before. You won't get access to it before, but you'll find out so you can be ready for it. So yes, I'm very excited about it. Lovely to see that you guys are joining it already, and some of you are already VIPs. Yay. Right, let's get some sewing done, since that's what we're here to do. Sewing and natter and sewing. So I have got mine here, and I have got the gorgeous Cygnus Return. It is just beautiful, this fabric. I love it. I just love the colour. So, oh gosh. So the link to this will be going up shortly, I'm sure, by Rosie. But this you guys can be making as well. But how fab is that? So I'm excited about making one of these and having another one of these in my wardrobe, since I put this on and realised how comfortable it is, and how comfy. So the first thing we're going to do is this little bit. Where is it? There. Couldn't feel it. I'm like, where is it? There's some gathering somewhere here. It is here. The little bit of gathering here. Now this was inspired by our Eve dress. So when I designed the Eve dress, I put this little bit in here and I thought it was so pretty. And you may see that repeat itself in other patterns. So it's repeated itself in this, because I think it's a really pretty little feature. And also in the version, you can do a Roxy version, which was our last month's pattern. You can also have this kind of thing. So yeah. Right, okay. So we're going to take this piece, the front piece, and we're going to run 2 rows of gather stitch along the top of this. So this will gather up and it'll go into our little yoke piece here. Oh, I thought I threaded it up, but I see that I've got distracted on the bobbin, and I've just done the bobbin. So I'll just quickly thread that up, guys. Oh. So when a new year starts, who likes to write out the plans for what they're going to be sewing this year? I've never done that, because for me, if I wrote it out, part of the time I don't actually know. But I do love the idea of having like some wish lists, some wish list patterns of things that you want to sew. And you know, it's always the way that if you write it down, then it's more likely to happen, isn't it? And you can kind of little swatch out your fabrics and think about that. I always think that's such a lovely idea. Especially if you're lucky enough to have a sewing area somewhere in your house that you can have it like that all the time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to do it, but I'm hoping I might be able to do a loft conversion this year, later on in the year, we'll see. And if I do, part of that loft conversion will give me a spare room, which means my mum and dad will be able to come down more, but also it will give me a little box studio kind of officey space, which would be a sewing room. I'm very excited about that prospect. So yeah, anyway, we'll see. But I'm at least going to start having a look into. Do you know one of my favourite things that I love doing is going on Pinterest and looking at sewing rooms. I don't know why I love it so much, but I had one in the dream house. As you know, you guys will have seen it. I managed it for about however long I was in that house, not very long. But the dream now is back on being a dream list rather than an actual list. And anyway, one day I hope I will get that again. There's some amazing craft rooms in the US. You guys in the US have the most insane craft rooms that I've seen. Like literally dream of it, like all these beautiful kind of rows and rows of like wrapping paper and string and threads and pens and all that just froze them because my sister decided to call me. Hopefully she won't try again. Okay, so we're going to do 2 rows of really long gather stitching. Now we want these at 1 centimetre, so 3/8 of the 3/8 of the inch, 3/8 of an inch, 1 centimetre and 1.4 centimetres, something like that. So it's within the 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. So when you do a gather stitch, you don't reverse, you just start and stop, because we need to be able to pull those threads up to make it gather. Okay. And now comes my second one, just making sure that's definitely within the 1.5 or 5/8 of an inch. Oops. So now we've done that, so that's 2 rows like that. It's easier to see it on the back. And then we can gather those up. So what you do is you take the top 2 or the bottom 2, it doesn't matter which, and you pull them and it gathers up. Like so. Okay, so that's one's done, but there's 2 sides, so we need to do the other one. Oops, what's that? That's my back, I don't need that. I'm surprised Coco hasn't trotted in. Little Coco has been literally, every time, I don't know, it's like every time I get the camera out to film something, whether it's for Sew Over It or Lisa Comfort Home, Coco's there with her tail in the air. Liking the limelight, oh Coco. Okay, so I'm doing this one again at 1 centimetre, and then we'll do another one at about 1.5. There we go. Okay. So now what we can do is pin them to our little yoke piece. I'm going to start off, I'm just going to take those bits, those threads there, pull those. I'm hoping, guys, I don't know how far we'll get today, but I thought I've got the next 2 evenings. I'm doing a tea in the chat actually tomorrow evening on Lisa Comfort Home Instagram channel, but apart from that, I've got this tonight and tomorrow night. I don't have Jazzy, and I've got the evenings free, so I'm going to hopefully finish this. I'm quite excited about doing that. Often I don't get to do that. I just have to put it to one side and someone in the team sews it up and finishes it, but I can. So excited about having more time, I have to say. It's like the best thing. Right, so we have labelled on these little yoke pieces, we've labelled the shoulder edge and the join to front along this edge. So that's the edge that we need. That's what we're wanting to join to. So I'm going to put a pin in that one there. So that is that one, and that is the other side there. Okay, I'm just checking that actually, guys, because I think that looks already, I've got confused. They're going back to front and I'm in there. So, oh gosh, what have I done? I literally pinned it and then straight away got confused. There we go, that is right. So we're going to take the edge that needs to go along the edge that needs to go along with this front one that I've just pinned, and we're going to place that. I want to make sure that I'm going to not get my swans upside down. He's upside down, he must be the wrong side. There we go. No, he's also upside down. Oh, I think one of the girls in the office cut this out for me, and I think we've got that little piece upside down. So never mind, it'll be every time that I put it on, I'll remember her. There she'll be, upside down. This is a directional print, so unfortunately you can't. You've got to get these the right way around. Okay. So I'm going to pin one edge like that, and then I'm going to pin the other edge, and then I'm going to use a pin to kind of move those gathers along. So I just find that this is the best way of moving gathers along without being too heavy-handed, because you want to make sure that your gathers are even. You don't want them all like bunched up to one side. Oh, Sylvia's got snow. Yay. I would love snow right now. Oh my goodness. There are some people that are not excited about snow. I turn into a 5-year-old when it snows. Absolutely love it. Get so excited. So much so that I often think, why don't I live in a country where there's guaranteed snow? Should move to Scotland. Okay, so I'm just pinning this in. It's a little bit, needs to be a little bit more gathered there. Never minds. Oops. Yep, there we go. Swanie's upside down. Right, let's put that one there, and then let's get another one. The other one, here's one I did earlier. Blue Peter reference, that was. Good old Blue Peter. And I'm going to take this one and put that also in, so do that. So I'm going to pin them both and then we'll sew them both together. Ooh. So another thing that I want to be doing over the next few months, and now is really the time, is trying to get more beginner sewers sewing, more people sewing. I genuinely feel like, and it sounds a bit preachy, but I genuinely feel like sewing soothes the soul. And at the moment, so we need it. I feel like you need sewing in your life, or creativity and things, and something, you know, and it's something that can give you so much pleasure at home. So I'm working on ideas at the moment for ways of encouraging more people to pick up a needle and thread and get sewing, to do some more. Sewing soothes the soul. Get some more people through whatever we're going to have to go through, certainly in the UK, through another big lockdown. But if you sew, I promise you it will be a lot more fun. So we need to encourage people about that. Now we're going to now stitch this on properly, so I'm going to change it to a zigzag. So a zigzag stitch, I'm going to use stitch length about 1.5, and I'm going to go stitch width 1, so really tiddly widdly, okay? And then the seam allowance is 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch. Lining up my raw edge with that. And away we go. So yeah, so what I was thinking of doing is I'm going to try and do a sort of series of lunchtime fun sewing bits on Instagram. So it probably won't be dressmaking, or if it is, it's be very, very simple, quick makes, maybe no pattern makes, I'm not sure. But just some really nice, fun ways of things we could be sewing and getting people inspired to sew. Because obviously we're all converted, we all know how wonderful it is, but I feel like we should be teaching the world to sew and getting more people doing it. If that was my purpose in life, if I had a purpose in life, that is my purpose. I'm determined to get more people sewing. That's actually been one of the really great positive things of the course that I did, was it allowed me to kind of regroup and refocus on why I started the business. And I had to do this presentation, as some of you know, and that's how I opened it, by saying this is why I set up the business. And kind of not forgotten, but it sort of got pushed aside and kind of, you focus on other things. But that is genuinely why I set up the business, and genuinely why I continue in the business. I just think I have to get more people sewing, because I just have to show them how great it can be. And also really annoying as well when the jersey fabric gets stuck into the base of the machine. It's not always plain sailing, is it? Oh gosh, here we go again. It's like someone knew that I was all going far too well. Right, let me take that off. See what is going on here. Oh, hoo-ha's. He's coming. He's coming. Are you coming, mister? Oh, he's got it's like a little knot on the back there. He's got stuck underneath the plate. I'm going to push him out. He will go out. No, he will not come. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's very dusty in there. Oh dear, look. How bad is that? All that fluff. Right, well, that has to go on the list for January, cleaning my machine. I didn't have it serviced that long ago, but I have. This poor little machine has been working very hard, hasn't it? Let me get that thing back on now. There we go. I might be a cheery sewer, but I'm definitely not the smoothest of sewers, am I? There's always something going wrong. Right. To avoid that big knot there, fortunately it hasn't made a hole in the fabric or anything like that. I'm just going to carry on and pretend it wasn't there. No. Thank you, Mr. Sewing Machine. Don't be... I think actually I might have to increase the stitch length, because I can feel it starting to happen a bit again. So if you feel that, it could be that it's just because the viscose jersey can be really tricky to get through a machine. So it could be to do with that. It is very frustrating. Sometimes it can, I don't know, just the way that it is, it's very fine, but it can really get caught and get stuck inside. Cotton jersey doesn't tend to do it. Viscose is really prone to it. So yeah, that's feeding better now. So I've increased that stitch length a little bit, and it's just sewing through a lot more smoothly. Lovely. Better. Good. Okay, let's get rid of all these little taily bits. Okay. Now it's time to get Mr. Iron up on the table. We're going to iron that, and then we're also going to iron some interfacing, guys, onto the round where the gap in the seam will be for the tie here. So we're going to do that too. Oops. Now, what temperature have I got this one on? Quite hot. Turn it down a little bit. So what we're going to do is press that up. So the seam allowance is going up towards the little yoke piece. Try not to press on this side though. You don't want to be pressing those little pleats flat, because that would ruin it. You don't want, there's nothing worse than a pressed flat pleat, gather, whatever. So that's fine. We'll put that one to one side and do the same with this one. Oh, I've not cut my threads off on this one. Let's do that. Like to keep up with cutting threads, guys. Don't get into those lazy habits of not cutting your threads, because they just get in the way and they're harder to trim off once you finish your project. Or you forget. And then you're out and about and someone says, oh, you've got a thread on you, and then accidentally pulls your whole hem out. Yeah, like it's not a dangling thread, it's an attached thread. I forgot to cut it off. Lovely. So pretty. Well, that's done there. Yeah, okay. So we're now going to take the right front piece, because that's where the hole will go, for the gap will. And you'll see there's 2 notches here, which is where it kind of curves in for the waist. So we need to reinforce that. Now we recommend using stretch interfacing, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm just using some very fine filing interfacing. That's enough just to strengthen that seam. Okay. Just help before we sew that seam. We just want to strengthen that so it strengthens the opening, because in, again, viscose jersey, it won't cope with the top stitching around that little hole where the bit goes through the tie. So that will just help with that. And then if we take our back piece, again we need to do the right side as well. Find the notches there and then put one. There he is. Put another piece there just to strengthen that. Okay, so Mr. Iron can go back down and we can pin. We're going to pin together. Let's have a sip of tea. Oh. Do you like these, guys? This is my big treat to myself, which is, oh yes, ballpoint needle, guys. I completely forgot to say, put a ballpoint needle on. Definitely need that with viscose jersey. These, I've treated myself to new flowers for the table. It's for you guys too, because I thought, you know, we'd had the other flowers for a while. And these are the little small colourful bouquets that we sell at Lisa Comfort Home, and there's actually 3 of them in there, so there's quite a lot in there, so it's really full. But what gorgeous colours, eh? Aren't they fab? So yeah, I'll be bringing them with us for Jan, brightening the sew-alongs, screens. Now, okay. Getting all our kerfuffles. There we go. So we're going to stitch together that seam that we've just reinforced. So if we do the right hand side seam first, so starting at the underarm curve there, we've got the front and the back right sides together, like that. Okay, and we're going to just pin them together. Now where those notches are, where the interfacing is, we're going to leave a gap there, because that's then going to get pressed open and be turned into the little top stitched gap for our ties. So we'll kind of do that little bit of the seam, and then we'll stop, and then we'll come and start the seam again there. So I'm making a long version, guys, and I'm making, I think, a size 10. In case you were wondering what size I'm wearing. I think though this might be an 8 and it's actually fine, but I couldn't really remember what I'd made this for, because it was last year that when this, was it last year the Meredith came? Yeah, it was last year the Meredith came out, so I probably would have made an 8 last year. Oops. So we've got a notch here to line up with and help us with that. There we go. And then lining up our hems. Okay. Really is fab, this. Okay. Should I pin the other one? I'm not going to pin the other one yet, actually, because with viscose jerseys, sometimes the pins don't stay in very long, so I don't want to risk them falling out. So I think I'll just sew this side, then we'll sew the other side. Oh, sorry. Bash, bang, wallop. Bash, bang, wallop. Okay. 5/8 of an inch, guys, 1.5 centimetres. Make sure you keep an eye on that feeding through. I forgot to tell you it was a ballpoint needle, so that really does help. And make sure that, yeah, you've got the optimum stitch length. So I probably should have checked it. What a surprise that I don't normally check the stitching on my fabric before. Ideally you want to check on a little scrap. I think it's because often things are cut out for me for the sew-alongs. I usually check when I'm doing other things. But so the scraps don't come. So I don't usually have a little scrap to practice on, but maybe I should ask for that. So I can get it optimum for us. Although sometimes I think when things go wrong, it's better that you guys see that. One, to really be reassured that they go wrong with everyone, and two, to see how I fix it. Usually just by yanking it out the machine. Okay, so I've just stopped at that notch. I've done a little reverse, and I'm now going to go and do another reverse and a start at the next notch. So we're leaving that gap in between the notches unstitched. What I'm hoping to do today, guys, is stitch the side seams, top stitch around this little gap, and stitch the shoulder seams, and then I can put it on. You know, that's what I like to do at the end of a sew-along, put on the make. Instead of just lay the pieces on me, because it's not yet sewn together. We are using a zigzag. Hi, Kim. Yep, we're using a zigzag. It's a stitch width of 1, and I've got a stitch length 2. Just a bit more, but yeah. Okay. So when you're sewing something like viscose jersey, you want to also try not to, you can see my hands are quite, you might be able to see if I'm moving back a bit more, but my hands are feeding this through quite delicately. I'm not over handling the fabric, because if I was to be too tense with it, it would stretch it. So I'm allowing it to sit relatively flat on the base of the machine. And so I'm sort of just helping guide it, but the machine is doing the work. The machine is feeding it through, and I'm just trying to keep it straight. I'm not making it too flat on the base of the machine. If this was cotton, I would be putting a bit more tension on it to control it. It's like a stronger fabric, but with knit fabrics, you don't want to do that. Okay, one done. That's great. One side seam done. Let's trim off all of these threads around the opening. Get rid of those. And down here. Oopsies. And here. And then I'm going to get the other side and pin that on first. Okay. Yeah, sometimes a walking foot's good, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it doesn't help. It really depends. I think with walking feet you have to check it out, because sometimes I find that it makes it worse. So I generally, unless it's really fine, the thing is, if it's really fine, then sometimes it's too heavy-handed, the walking foot. So it's a difficult one, but it can really work. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I've got my opening there. Make sure you put your pins directly on those notches. Pin, not useful. That's the pin dish is where we do all of our sorting out of our fabrics and orders and stuff that always have bent pins, because we use pins to keep the rolls of fabric or the bolts together, but sometimes the fabric's so thick when you're sticking it into a bolt that it bends the pin. So there's usually a ridiculous amount of bent pins at work. So very exciting, guys. We are moving in, despite all the changes and lockdown and stuff, but we are moving into our offices because we need to. We've taken the keys, we've paid our rent, and our new Sew Over offices are sitting there waiting for us to fill them up with all our stuff, and we can't operate really out of the Lisa Comfort Home shop anymore. So it's safer for the two to be separate, and the teams to be separate as well. And so tomorrow, Rosie and I will be waiting for some shelving to arrive, won't we, Rosie? Nothing like a bit of warehouse shelving that apparently we're worried that might not fit in the lift at the new place, and it's on the 6th floor. So metal, big, heavy shelving that we might have to carry up ourselves. Just Rosie and I. The good place, the leggings and the trainers tomorrow. And gloves. Removal men always have gloves, don't they? That's true, actually. Oh my goodness. When we moved into our office last time, we had the same issue. They didn't fit in the lift. We use these shelves a lot. They're really useful. And it was the hottest day of the year. I kid you not. Rosie and I had to do about 3 steps, and then we would stop and like just drip with sweat. So at least we're not contending with that. But yeah, so this week all the big shelving and desks and things are arriving, and then next week is moving the stuff across and getting it set up as the new space. But if you keep an eye on Instagram stories tomorrow, I'll try and show you all a bit of the space before it's all, yeah, it'll be quite nice for you to see it before and then after. But it's a brand new building, brand new. Oops, we'll just do a reverse here. Oh no, we don't need to worry about there, sorry, of course. Just thinking outside of the box, guys. With this one on this side, you don't have to do, you can go straight over the notches there, because on the left side there isn't a hole, so don't have to worry about that. So only on the right side that you need that gap. Anyway, yeah, they are amazing, and they've got this gorgeous roof terrace, which at the moment there's nothing up there, obviously it's the middle of winter, but it will be fabulous. Place for everyone to have lunch, and everyone can be there. Anyway, for the time being, the team will be staggered there, and only really the team that have to be there to process orders and stuff, but yeah, we'll be making it lovely and safe for everybody. And of course it's another space for me to decorate, so I'm pretty excited about that. Hanging plants, baskets, things. We want to create a little cosy area for lunches for everyone, so we're not going to get it yet, but we're going to get some sofas, and yeah, make it a really lovely space so that when we can welcome everyone back to the office, it will be a lovely space to be in. Yeah, Kim, I'll be in my element. Like running out of spaces to do things in. Okay, both side seams now done. Let me trim these threads and then we will iron them. Get those seams pressed open. How are we doing for time? Okay, we've still got time. I want to get those shoulder seams done with you guys. Okay, I don't actually have any water in this, which isn't ideal. However, it's fine, it's pressing really nicely. So we're just going to press those seams flat. Now, you'll notice that I haven't done any finishing of the seams because knit fabric you don't need to. And if you don't need to, I tend not to because it adds bulk, but it also sometimes means it doesn't sit quite as flat. Okay. And then, ow! Iron, burning my hand. Wasn't a bad burn, just a bad reaction, as always. So as we're coming over here, press it open and around where that gap is. Keep that pressed in line with the seam, even though it's not actually stitched in that little bit there. But you still want that pressed open, because in a minute we're going to top stitch that in place so that it's all sitting flat. And because we've done our lovely bit of reinforcing with interfacing, it is lovely and crisp and strong, so it can take the top stitching. Right, that's that. That's that. That. Okay, sorry Sal, I saw that you made a comment then, but I couldn't see what it was. So, but hello Sal, Happy New Year. Ooh, now, where is it? Where's my gap? I've ironed it so beautifully, I can't see it. There it is. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch around that. So you could put an edge stitch foot on if you wanted to, but I'm going to just use the regular foot. I'm going to just stitch it a few millimeters round, top stitch round, all the way around like in a little rectangle. So we'll pivot and go across at the top and bottom ends of this. Actually, I need to put it on. I'm going to stitch it with a straight stitch for this, guys. So I'm stitching it about 4 millimeters, because then it will hold the seam allowance down better. But it's all, in a way, it's sort of what you prefer. But I mean, if you do it more narrow than that, you might just find you need to trim down your seam allowance around this part, because you don't want that to kind of curl back in or out. That kind of tuck back out through the right side. There we go. That is now done. Let me try and show you that so you can see. Okay. So that's now lovely and neat. And so now I'm just going to do my shoulder seams. I want to do those with you guys. So we've got the yokes joining together. The yoke with the shoulder seam at the back. Okay. Now there seems to be a little bit of chat, guys, on here about, I haven't really been able to follow it, but about sleeves. so I'm sorry that I've not been able to get into sleeves with you all. But I certainly, if you do ever have any issues with any of our patterns, you must email us. And we don't always get back to you that day on those sorts of things, because the team that answer those kind of questions, sometimes it's a different team. It depends on the complexity of the question, but we do always get back to you guys. So we pride ourselves in that we will always help you as much as we can if you're struggling with a pattern, or if you found that there's something that you think's not quite right, whatever it is, always get in touch. Your email's better than Instagram or other social media, because we can't really give you a big answer over social media. And also, photos are always really good. If you've got stuck with something, send a photo in of it, because then we can see what the issue is more clearly. Okay, that one's done. Let's do the next side. So just placing the other side of the yoke that's not attached, that's free, the raw edge of that, to the back shoulder edge. Excuse me. Okay. Another little tip, if you're ever working with viscose jersey and it does have a tendency to get stuck underneath, is to not start right on the edge, because if you start right on the edge, you can find that that will pull the edge into the base of the machine. So just start a few millimeters in. It doesn't matter if that edge doesn't get quite stitched. Because usually it will then go into another edge, so it's never really left it finished like that. Left like that. But if you think, if you've not gone right to the edge here, well, it doesn't really matter, because it's going to get pressed open and then that's going to go into the edge. That edge will get bound when we finish the neckline. That makes sense. Right, that is all we can do for today, guys, but let me try it on. I have a tunic, large long waistcoat. Anyway, you can start to see how fab that's going to be in this fabric. Oh, well, thank you for joining me for the first Sew Along for 2021, guys. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see you all here. And if you're watching this afterwards, I hope you enjoy it. I'm sorry you weren't able to join us for the live, but these will always get added up straight onto our YouTube channel the moment I press stop on here, and so they'll be up shortly, and you can pop comments and things in there. I try to look and have a look at the comments afterwards later on anyway. So next week, I think we advertise it that's Becca, but it's not going to be Becca, it will be myself. Doing a pipe cushion, so something a bit different. We're wanting to vary it up, so it's not just dressmaking, because we're aware that lots of people are at home sewing other things as well. So piped cushion next week, and I will be on Instagram quite a lot, so guys, keep your eyes on Instagram. I'll be popping up on there and sharing with you what I am wearing and trying to give you inspiration for how to dress at the moment. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you then. Bye.